think about the Denver airport?
For one, that's one of the biggest airports I've ever been in my life.
Marlboros and Oreos. What could they have in common?
Jesus.
I look at them like, I say Jesus.
And next question is,
what do you make of the idea that we're experiencing a controlled collapse?
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. As y'all know, that helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's get into it.
Well, it has begun. They are officially scanning for water for the data centers.
Well, they got their own sun down here.
Well, I mean, China did it. China created their own artificial sun. I think that is part of the reveal. I think people are going to start to see things that technically aren't supposed to exist, only because of, again, the most important thing I said was what? Energy, frequency. I think as frequency raises, as a collective, we are going to start seeing things that we couldn't see before. And this is proven scientifically to where frequencies can heal. This is why they took all the bells out of all the churches and
The music.
and the towns.
I was talking about this shit last night.
Frequencies, right? So it's definitely connected to the human body because we are electromagnetic beings. Even the earth has a heartbeat. And I think that as the vibration raises, as people start to question, start to get out of this matrix per se, there is going to be, oh wait, two suns? Oh, this happened. I think we're going to start to see a lot of things that we couldn't see before.
What we see on social media is programmed, algorithmically programmed for us to see. Like all of the stuff that pops up on your timeline, major corporations, they pay for bots so the comments be fake. They pay for accounts just to post, products or to push agendas. They pay for fake viral moments and stuff like that, where they have multiple accounts like posting stuff to make you feel like something is going.
There is no way this is a coincidence. Once you listen to this video, you will never look at The Simpsons, American Dad, Malcolm in the Middle, Family Guy, South Park, probably more. You'll never look at them the same way again. Because there's no way that this underlying theme in all of these shows just so happens to be the same. Like, the odds of that, at the very least, I'm not saying it's a part of the plan, but at the very least, it's low odds, isn't it? So, what do you think the odds are that in all of those shows, some of the most popular shows in the last 2, even 3 decades, Simpsons is going on 35 years, I believe. What are the odds that all of the father figures in all of these shows are bumbling, childlike dolts? Seriously. And I'm not saying, it's not funny. The Simpsons, I've laughed at it. It's funny, yeah. Family Guy, I grew up watching that. But, they are bumbling dolts, right? They are childlike and goofy. Now, you may think, it's just about humor. It's just comedy, man. Relax. But what do you think the effects are on hundreds of millions of people's brains watching the father figure, the father role, be a childlike buffoon? What effect does that have? I don't know. I'm not saying it has an effect, but could it? And if it does, what would the effect be? And I just find it interesting that while those shows are gaining popularity and they're the most popular thing out there, we also have a shocking situation where men's testosterone levels are down significantly because of the, they call it environmental toxins, but I find that's an interesting way of saying the crazy chemicals in the food, air, and water supply. It's not really from the environment. They're in the environment now, but it's kind of a misnomer. Anyways, I'm doing next video is going to be on the rural purge, which is a shocking subject you're going to be mind blown about. Keep your eyes out for that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about this shocking situation and follow for more.
I mean, not only in the sitcoms, 90s, early 2000s sitcoms where the dad's that, but you look at today's shows on the Netflix, on Hulu, on all these shows, on even TV, nothing but infidelity, nothing but abusiveness, nothing but unhappy marriages, unhappy kids. There is no shows out there where the family, like Roseanne back in the day, I don't know, that's the first one that came to my head. They sat around the dinner table and discussed things and it was, positive. There's none of that now. It's negativity. It's chaos in these shows now.
But I don't know, do you think in 5 years we're just going to be sitting in our feed and consuming media that's video? It's no, it's going to be interactive, right? It's you'll be scrolling through your feed and there will be content that is basically I don't know, maybe it looks like a reel to start, but then like you talk to it or you interact with it and it talks back or it changes what it's doing, or you can jump into it like a game and interact with it. And that's all going to be like AI, right? So I guess my point is there's just all these different things. And I guess we're ambitious, so we're working on a bunch of them.
Glamour Gals collection. Glamour Gals! Doll, party place, fancy fireworks, the show place collector's case. Each sold separately. You can send in proofs of purchase from any 3 Glamour Gals dolls. Jessie, Danny, Lonnie, or Shara.
Sounds
in any
like her
of 3
too.
outfits. And get Jessie in fancy formal.
Everyone is losing their minds over this 1981 commercial, calling her a time traveller, and honestly, I was ready to ignore it until I seen it side by side. You cannot tell me that there's not some similarities. But then someone pointed this out, and actually, it gets weirder. Now people are pulling up photos from 1985, and it's the exact same face. The forums are going insane right now, just tearing apart the timeline and the bone structure. It's not that people are saying she's a clone, it's the noticing how often the same face just shows up throughout history. At what point does a coincidence stop being a logical answer? Because it just feels like the internet is catching on to something. Does anyone else see the pattern? Let me know, because I'm done trying to make sense of all this.
The mirage in the desert is where you go to die, according to our tour guide. He said that people in the past used to follow the mirage, and they would follow it thinking it's water, and you just die. As you can see, that rock is floating right there because of the way that the sun reflects off the sand. So the rock looks like it's floating, and you follow it thinking there's water, and then you die because there's no actual water. It's just sand, more sand. And then you're like loopy in the desert. And I was telling him that, if I was a part of a caravan 50 years ago, I'd probably follow that mirage and die.
This is what hospitals looked like before the Rockefellers took over. Number 1 is copper cups, as it was known that copper was potently antibacterial, meaning that no bacteria was able to spread between patients when they were drinking out of the copper cup. And it was also known that copper ions were transferred into the water, creating electrically charged water. And humans are electrical beings, meaning that copper water was effectively making the patients recover faster. Before the Rockefellers took over, hospitals would also use linen sheets, as it was known that linen had a frequency of 5,000 hertz, meaning when patients would go in the hospital, they would leave quicker as the frequency of the linen would interact with their body, promoting faster healing. Number 3 is herbal tinctures such as dandelion, burdock and elderberry. These were some of the common herbs that were used in hospitals before the Rockefellers took over for their potent medicinal properties. And finally, number 4, Sundex. All old hospitals would use Sundex, as it was known that vitamin D was essential for an optimal immune system. That's why they removed copper from swimming pools, because they realized that copper was so antibacterial that it was completely purifying the water that the people were swimming in without all of the harmful effects of chlorine, which we also know is $1 trillion industry. But also, when the copper was rested in the swimming pools, copper ions were being absorbed into the water, which hold an electrical charge. Therefore, when people were swimming in these pools, their bodies were absorbing this charged water, and we are electrical beings. Therefore, the water that they were swimming in and bathing in was instantaneously healing their bodies. And so if we then think about copper pipes, which are being completely erased, it then makes perfect sense, because the elites realized that when water flows through copper pipes, that water then becomes charged water, creating some of the most powerful water in the world, purifying it to a level no other material can match. This is another reason why farmers would place copper in their livestock's water bowls, because they knew that the copper would keep the water completely pure and charge the water.
This is crazy. Now watch this.
So I think in the school system, they don't want us to learn about money because they just want to pump out good employees that do what they're told. I mean, if you look at school, it's opposite of what it takes to be successful in real life. Don't make a mistake. Do as you're told. Take tests by yourself. Don't cooperate. Do it by yourself. Do it on your own. And the last thing was, there's only one right answer. No, there's tons of answers to a problem. So you come out of school scared to death of making a mistake. You do everything on your own. You don't cooperate. There's no synergy. There's no brainstorming. And there's only one right answer. Everybody wants to get the right answer. There's no one right answer. So I think people come out of school paralyzed. I think the school system is criminal in that it kills a child's spirit of learning. You know, a child goes into school all excited about, I'm going to learn and it's going to be great. And then the teacher says, sit down and shut up. don't talk. We don't care what you're interested in.
That are created.
You know, there is some good teachers out there. I remember I had a high school teacher. She was a history teacher, missed a lot. And when it was finals time, we got in groups of 4. We took our final with groups of 4. And then she would have, you know, we would work all together, like the classroom. Once we were done, our groups of 4, you know, we'd have, you know, one person from each group go up there and put the answer to number 1. Right. And then we would discuss, is this right? Is this right? So everybody passed their final with like 100%, but we all worked as a team and figured out what answer was wrong. Like we'd all take a vote. Is this answer wrong? No. Why? This, that. Like, and that final, I'll never forget that. Like I'm telling you guys that story. I'm not telling you no other stories from other finals I took because they were boring. Don't look over, pitch quiet, can't talk to nobody. Like, you know, but there is those teachers that try, you know, and that teacher really stuck with me. Right. And there's a reason she stuck with me because she was just a good teacher.
AI, all of them are anti-God. Every single last CEO. Top 5 is particular. The top 5 companies that are producing the most AI that are going to transform planet Earth, all 5 CEOs are unbelievers and against God.
No.
I bet.
It's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, makes sense.
They didn't even try to hide any of the evidence, the jewelry, the personal belongings. In some cases, the cars were still there, as if there was no consequences. This is part 3 to the breaking story out of Jalisco, Mexico, where an extermination camp was found with 3 ovens. It was reported.
So you remember yesterday's video? We were talking about their cremating and putting it in our calories, right? This is what I was talking about. They find the ovens at these places. They don't even try to hide it because they get away with it. They run it. But this is it right here. All the clothes, all the shoes, and no bones, no nothing. They had 3 ovens there. Maybe that's the biggest. You know, they tell us that the fat, you know, the drugs, you know, the you know, it's busy out. We got a lot of traffic outside is like the biggest thing ever. But really what they're hiding is this is the moneymaker.
The ovens were still
the McDonald's,
warm.
the
They're
food.
still hot. A lot of people in the comments, if you click on the comment, it'll take you to the original video, say organ harvesting. It's not just human trafficking people that are alive. It's how much more they're worth when they're not. And a lot of people believe some of the information coming out in the news story is there could have been whole families that were pulled over and sadly never seen again. And it's very, very common. If you read the comments, people have family members and friends that were living down there for 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden they were just not anywhere to be found. Never heard of again. Scary stuff.
Different world out there.
All right, there's some shit we got to talk about. Remember the movie Pacific Rim? Y'all should watch it again and then look at what the fuck all of these countries are doing around the Mariana Trench right now. Coincidence? I don't think so. Literally, our president, Reagan, I believe it was, said that it would take something like an alien invasion or a common enemy to bring forth a one world government. Y'all need to be looking at the Mariana Trench right now and the Devil's Triangle. It's no boats, no aircraft, nothing is being allowed there right now. And it is the most violent underwater terrain in the world. And it is currently erupting. Like, y'all need to go look at the shit.
Everybody puts him up as this genius. He's not a genius.
Not at all.
All he's done is come in and buy. Tesla existed, and I love Tesla cars. I used to have one. Tesla existed before Elon Musk. Right. He just comes in, bought a company, drove out the actual guys that invented it, and puts himself up front. He has never invented, made anything in his life.
A lot of those guys, Zuckerberg, all those guys.
None of them.
Taken and stolen.
They just idea
Gates stole
stealers.
Microsoft, all of that.
Idea stealers. That's all they are.
Yeah.
So I have no respect for that man. Nobody becomes a billionaire without the just subjugating other people and without. So I have no respect for him.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
I heard what Gina said. I was watching 154. Anyway, I love Africans, but I feel that Gina kind of.
I want to elbow you in the face right now.
Because he always glitches in front of you. You're like, damn.
Because he's on so many drugs.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna elbow you in the face right now.
I don't know exactly what it is, but it ain't good. And everybody watching this needs to prepare, to stock up on food, water, canned goods, and be prepared for the worst, because when you see CNN talking about 4 different alien species, Greys, reptilians, tronoloids, and tall Nordics, then you see NASA whistleblowers coming out speaking about tall, black-skinned people getting off ships, having meetings. And then you see how history has been whitewashed. It's almost like whoever Hitler or the Fuhrer interacted with do these channeling processes they learn through the real. It's almost like everybody trying to escape from something. If you look all throughout history, you find these locations where people were living underground. The Anunnaki tribe spoke about ant people who taught humans how to survive the coming cataclysms. Then you see the Temple of Dendara, and you see Russian LiDAR scans of all of these temples and these underground complexes. Why were they living there? What happened?
We are never born and we never die. You come in and you inhabit this body. So maybe the whole idea of incarnation and reincarnation but it seems to make sense. You see, flowers come and go every spring, leaves come on the trees, and then in the autumn they come. But that cycle is repeated in linear time every year, right? And in the same flower bed, like they were there last year, they died, but they come back again. They're there, right? Trees, when I walk through the park in the morning, I'm very conscious of seasonal changes. As you go from late autumn, you see the leaves falling down off the trees, and then they become totally bare, right? And then as you get into springtime, I watch the same trees that are still bare, but suddenly there's little things sprouting on the branches, and then they fill up, and leaves return, and then you get full green trees again. So it's like that's life cycle in linear time. In our local world, we come and we go, but in the non-local, we are eternal beings, inhabiting, coming and going into linear time, into bodies, right? But when we leave our bodies, we go back to the eternal space, and then we might jump back into the local again, find another body. That's, I think, what quantum physics and Eastern spirituality is telling us when you look at it. This process of incarnation and reincarnation is all the time. It's happening in nature.
My apologies to you guys. I should have actually informed you to wear something that would have covered your face a little bit more, like sunglasses or something. Why? Because they have facial recognition in these, and artificial intelligence facial recognition in these cameras, so they can see you. And they'll figure out who you are. I'm Jake Forts, and I'm the resident here in Iowa Street in Lowell, Massachusetts, and you're at my humble abode. So that is the largest part of the Markley Group data center here in Lowell. In Massachusetts, in theory, you can't have a surveillance camera looking at somebody's backyard. And what the hell is that doing in the middle of a residential neighborhood? Without saying too much, being in camera view. It's been ascertained.
Why do you have to say that?
These cameras are high-tech. They're $1,000 a pop. You have to be guarded on what you say around here just because there is so much surveillance and what you do. Come back and actually see like the fishbowl of which I live in. For me in this neighborhood, it started 11 years ago. Markley came and they started
like a
line
border
immediately. 10 years ago, they put the 2 diesel engines. So if you're looking over here, you can see 4 diesel engines. The furthest 2 were never supposed to be there. Actually, none of these 4 were supposed to be there. It didn't explode until they got the AI in there. So when Markley came, they told us that it was going to be one thing, that it wouldn't have a big impact on the community, and that it was going to be Netflix. And it has been anything but that. They've repeatedly changed the site to the point where this neighbor, Eileen, who has 2 water tanks in her backyard, They just popped up there during COVID. They started construction, didn't ask, but it's always do and ask for forgiveness later with this company. These two engines here were the first two to go in. These went in 2016, and that's when we said, what the hell are you doing? That's not where these were supposed to be. Everything that was mechanical was supposed to be on the other side of the facility. And by the way, don't worry about these folks because they sold out in December to them. Markley owns this. They own all of this. We're the last two privately owned houses on this street, and 9 Prince Ave is the last privately owned residence on Prince Ave. When he is done acquiring at cheap cutthroat rates, then this will cease to exist. He already has a plan, which he slipped in 2017, to build another building on the other side of the parking lot, where the parking lot is. So where are those people parking? He needs to come this way.
We have video evidence of people abusing children, and not a single person got arrested. How can you call that a democracy? So humanity is at a crossroads, where for the first time ever, we need to wake up and realize that we're ruled by maniacs. And what we believe is democracy is not democracy, and what we know is not the truth. Like companies and governments will blame the geopolitical and economic challenges we have on AI, but the truth is AI is not the enemy. Like, I'm not worried about AI turning against us. I'm worried about humans telling AI to turn against us. Like when I worked at Google, we were building amazing things, believing that we were making the world a better place, and we were. But then suddenly there is a moment where you recognize that maybe the world will not use what you're making the way you want it to be used. And sadly, this is upon us.
So I have lots of questions.
Okay, that's good.
So what's your take on this job disruption point? What is the risk of these very intelligent models that the creators of these models don't actually understand themselves? Do you think Sam Altman's pro-humanity? How do we get to a point of ethical AI when the incentive structures are so highly competitive? And then I wonder if there's a path that ends in AI being net positive for humanity.
For sure. Somehow we've been pre-programmed to believe that this is upon us and we cannot change it. And I refuse that. So we will talk about the solutions.
But are you optimistic?
I'm very optimistic about the future. I'm not optimistic about the next year.
Why the next year?
Come on, Stephen. You don't want me to say it? So
what makes...
Think about those files that came out, y'all. They offed the guy that was going to testify. Probably rat on everybody. So-called offed him, right? Who knows? Might still be out there. Might be freaking Palm Beach Pete that's streaming to hundreds and thousands and millions of young ones. I wouldn't put it past them. But none of these people in power got held accountable for their actions. Nobody. Right? Bill Gates went and testified in front of court. Did they talk about it? Did they show anything? No. Did anything come from it? No. Did we hear anything about it? No. Like, nobody got held accountable for this. None of these rich elite people. And we're still sitting in comments arguing about Trump, arguing about Biden. Still vouching for these people.
Structure so inherently dangerous.
You wake up.
Is that a lot of people don't realize, but they literally vibrate themselves to fucking pieces. And the lifespan of an helicopter airframe is insanely fucking short.
Oh,
like
really?
you have to completely overhaul them. And yeah, you have to overhaul them after a couple of years, and then they eventually completely expire. Whereas like with airplanes, like big commercial airplanes, they only expire because of the compression and decompression schedule, like how much you pressurize them, and then like for takeoff and landing and stuff like that. Whereas like recreational airplanes, I mean, dude, there's still fucking airplanes flying from World War I. You know what I mean?
This is one of the biggest scams in U.S. history. This family right here is the fucking devil. Everyone knows the movie The Blind Side. It's one of the best football stories ever told. It makes your mom cry every time. But guess what? It's a big fucking lie. These two right here never even adopted Michael Orr. Instead, they tricked him into signing documents so they could be his conservators, so they could make business decisions with his name and likeness. And with those powers, they set up royalties for themselves and their own 2 birth children, not Michael Orr, for royalties on his movie, his story, that generated over $300 million
Blood's
in
thicker than
revenue.
water.
Michael Orr got nothing. Now we know why it's called The Blind Side, and it's not because he plays left tackle.
Look at this.
This is the train. It's like a bloody jail cell. This is the train. Where do I stand? We go up on the roof. Up top. Yeah? Oh, this is going to be one of those horrible packed ones. I can't do India anymore. Hello. This is the train to... This is correct? Bro, you can feel the heat, the body heat.
See, we got one side of the world arguing about conservative ships. They're stealing my money. I played in the NFL. I'm not getting no brand deals because they're taking everything. They tricked me into contracts. And then we got another side of the world like that, stuffed in those trains, sweating, right? Like, it's just so crazy how, you know, you got to count your blessings, right? You got to count your blessings, right? That blindside thing could be the most evil people, but it could be a lot worse. You know what I mean? It's just a trip how the world is.
What do you make of the idea that we're experiencing a controlled collapse where evil people are trying to siphon off all the resources so they can rupture the system and then escape into their bunkers with all the gold?
Well, there's some things to unpack there, but my knee-jerk reaction is that it's way more plausible than I wish it was. There was a point where it was, tinfoil hat.
That sounded crazy. Just even 10 years ago, it sounded crazy.
It sounded a lot more crazy than it does now.
We used to make fun of... I used to listen to this record. It was Hal something. It was his Countdown to Armageddon. We found it at a garage sale on vinyl. And it was a 33 1/3. But if you played it at 45, it sounded really funny. And you would... listen to this chipmunk guy talk about how they're trying to invent a world currency to control the world and make everybody slaves.
Yeah, crazy people shit.
You've actually been told that 2027 is quite significant. That's interesting because 2027 has featured quite a lot in speculation from people inside the intelligence community. And it's interesting because you're not the first person to tell me that AI is perceived as a threat. What have you been told about 2027?
It basically gets to gets quite dystopian 2027, and people think it'll all be to do with that. But what will happen is something that nobody realizes happens, which is, I don't know which AI or all of them or some of them or one of them, but basically one of them realizes that it no longer needs any more information from us. It can join the dots up from then on. It's got everything it needs.
And that's a threat to humanity?
Yes, absolutely. Because what it'll do then is it'll just keep evolving. And because it's not really evil, but we think of it as evil. And what it does is it logically, without any care or emotion, works out that we're no longer required. And that we're actually a threat and that we want to try and stop it.
The moon is...
I mean, we've had the creators of these things come out and say it's going to end civilization. We had Elon Musk come out like it's not that it hates humans. Think of it like this. Think about when we build a highway and there's an ant pile on the highway. Like, our intentions ain't to kill those ants. Our intentions is just to build the highway. No hurt feelings towards the ants. That's how AI is going to look at it. Like, these creators are coming out and saying these things. But yet, when there's a data center opening, they got the news out there. They got the politicians out there with a big red ribbon and some giant scissors cutting it, and they're all clapping. Even though the creators of it come out and say these things. And there's no, call to stop it. It's just such a trip, y'all. We're so distracted.
To be here. It's just too big. We've never found another system in our solar system or any other that has this giant moon right next to us like this. This is totally unique. We haven't found a moon that has such a perfect orbit like this.
No shit, I didn't realize that.
A lot of people will point to the fact that the moon during the eclipse is like the perfect size to block out the sun because it's like a 400-to-1 ratio. The crust is different, older, and much thicker, and fewer impacts are on the far side that are on the near side. We need to think it would be the opposite because that should be grabbing things as they come in, but instead there's not as many impacts on that side. During one of the Apollo missions, as a test, a seismic test, they crashed one of the rockets into the moon to see, what was going on there. And the phrase is the moon rang like a bell for over an hour. So if you set off like seismic charges here to measure sound waves that go through the earth, as they go through the earth, they slow down as they go through all this dense matter and then through the mantle and the core, like it just slows down. The moon, they don't do that. The sound waves sped up and started to bounce all around in there and started to like reverberate. It would make a lot more sense that the moon wasn't here than the fact that it is.
What you think about the Denver airport? For one, that's one of the biggest airports I've ever been in my life. And the fact that how massive that airport is, it's just as big down below. Pause. But underground, it's the exact same. Like they have tunnels and it goes for miles and miles. Now you can say it's for transport. Okay. But why is it that they have a horse called Lucifer? Red eyes and whatnot. But here's the thing about Lucifer. The person who constructed that horse actually killed him. It fell on him. They throw it in your face. Like you go all around the airport, aliens here, aliens working on construction, and
I mean, you got the murals, like
very strange
lizard
mural.
people. It's all kind of crazy shit.
Yes, it's a lot of chaos going on. You see children over here. There's
Blowing
fires.
shit up, yep.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
Lockheed Martin are doing?
I mean, are we in danger?
Oh yeah,
Are you in danger?
very much so.
Do you have an exit plan?
I have two. Why do you think Musk is building a fucking rocket ship? It's not for fucking interest of keeping humanity alive other than him and his little grubby buddies. So me and Zuck, we both build bunkers. He did his in Kauai. Let's not forget when I made Goosebumps by Travis Scott, okay?
That's you.
Yeah. I made Humble by Kendrick. Why, I produced some of the drums on it.
That was the best. That little one looks like an entry port right there. The one on the right, that small one, that's probably for a scholarship. ship. Get a close up of that. What I'd give to get a chance to go up in there. Are you fucking kidding? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count 5 different entry points to this alien base. This is the reason why I've stayed in Antarctica so long. Look at this fucking thing. I'm giving an interview about alien bases and one shows up right behind me. This is a daily thing here. This is something that has kept me in Antarctica because I want to know more. And without the proper military support, I can't go deeper into this because this is NATO territory. It's been closed off. But a guy can wonder and a guy can watch from a distance and document. We've got multiple cameras here so that we can try to get this.
I didn't know he was talking like that.
To the internet where everyone can witness this for free. We don't have to hide this. I'm so sick of the government hiding what's really going on here in Antarctica.
In the book of Enoch, it talks about 10 different levels of heaven.
Right.
They speak about fallen angels, disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, breeding with human women, creating monsters. Are you familiar with the Tower of Babel? Tower of Babel.
Yes.
Tower of Babel, the God-seeing humans were capable of fantastic things. Building a tower to reach the heavens. God didn't like that. So he gave everybody different languages so they couldn't work together. Is that a person you want to worship? Why would an all-seeing force say, "For I am a jealous God"? How are you jealous of your own creation? And when you look at the creation theory, it says we were fearfully made. Us as humans are fearfully made by an all-seeing force. We are a species with amnesia. Everywhere you go, you see pine cones in architecture, everywhere. And then you hear about the pineal gland. Our water has fluoride in it. Our toothpaste has fluoride in it. What does fluoride do? Calcifies the pineal gland.
Was I literally the only one that didn't know this? Because it turns out the documentary Super Size Me, which I was shown as a kid through my health class in school, was pretty much a complete scam. Because if you've somehow never heard of it, the premise was that our main guy, Morgan Spurlock, would try to eat nothing but McDonald's for 30 days. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, try to eat everything on the menu, and if they asked him if he wanted to supersize the meal, he would have to say yes. And after doing it for a month, he gained 24 pounds, developed an inflamed liver, and had multiple heart palpitations throughout the experiments. But afterwards, during the Me Too movement, he admitted in 2017, due to basically snitching on himself, that since being 13 years old, he hadn't been sober for more than a week in 30 years. Which proves he was abusing alcohol during the experiment in 2004, which definitely tampered with the results. And due to other people pulling off the same experiment with multiple patients who gained weight but never really developed heart palpitations or inflamed livers, which was one of the biggest parts of Morgan's case, it easily corrupts the entire documentary and really surprises me that McDonald's never frickin' sued him for making the doc. So overall, what do you think? Is Morgan the biggest fraud of all time, or is this your first time even hearing about the documentary? Let me know in the comments down below because I'm genuinely curious. End of discussion.
Marlboros and Oreos. What could they have in common? The tobacco giant Philip Morris is the maker of Marlboro, the best-selling international cigarette in the world. They purchased Nabisco in 2000. That's the maker of Oreos, Fig Newtons, and Ritz crackers. In other news, autoimmune diseases have been on a historic rise ever since the turn of the 21st century. Everyone says that food is addictive, but is it cigarette addictive? Who knows? Anyways, I gotta start my workout. You guys stay safe out there.
There was a former Bush official that worked in the housing department. He came out and disclosed that there's $21 trillion missing in the government. And she said that there is essentially a black budget, which is off the books, to where they built underground civilizations, not only on land, but in the water and around the circumference of America. Now they have massive civilizations, but I do find it funny too that a lot of billionaires are spending billions of dollars for bunkers themselves. Zuckerberg, Bezos, you name it, they all have it. And that's what we know of. So imagine what we don't know, what's off the books, right?
That's a lot of money.
That we pay for. That's taxpayers' money, by the way. And then they already have these types of systems that's across America with the trucking system too. You have truckers showing footage where they drive into a mountain. It opens up and it just goes for miles and miles and miles. And that's just for the trucking industry. So what they don't show you, which they do have a black budget to where they fund many things that's off the books. They have probably a utopia down there when it comes to technology, you name it, that's for them.
Jesus. I mean, where do all these tax dollars go? Where do these tax dollars? We pay a lot of taxes, y'all. Everything, all day, every day we buy something is getting taxed. Where's all this going? It's not upgrading the streets, upgrading our schools, upgrading the people that are paying. So it's going somewhere.
I look at them like, I say, Jesus.
And the next question is, watch out for the thunder out this month.
You saved me. Love you.
Ivanka Trump, she jumped off the boat. She goes, there's an island that no one's ever seen before.
Jared, can we buy it?
Ivanka Columbus. Jared. She jumped off the boat, swam there. They went barefoot on an island that is a ex-military base that has landmines. Tunnels, caves. They went barefoot. No, not Crocs. Yeah. Barefoot. Yeah. To the top. Dude, it's just crazy. And then whose boat were they on?
Oh, the Rothschilds.
There's no money in music.
There's
the
no
actual
money.
Music.
Yeah. There's no money in music.
There's no money in actual music because in the digital era in the era that we're in now, streaming era.
Yeah.
I want people to understand it takes 80 streams on Apple Music to make $1. You have to listen to this song 80 times to make $1.
Wow.
So if you understand that,
Who's listening to the same song 80 times?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
1 million streams is $4,000.
What?
Yeah. 1 million streams is $4,000.
Wow.
So should rappers take their music off stream to get it back to where people got to pay real money to get it?
Yep. I would.
I think I don't even know the numbers. I got like 20 billion streams. I ain't really seen no big bag off of that.
1,500 streams is one spin or one record sale or something. That ain't that. Whoever made that up, they hate us.
The whole system been a scam. The math never added up with the record labels.
The math never was math.
And so when I got out of the music business, whoever want to still be in it, that's fine. But I'm out of the music industry because ain't no money in the music industry. It's a lot of things that we used to do. It ain't no money, and you know, it done tapped out. They trying to figure out how to make money off of streams. When Snoop put a post up, said, man, I sold 1 billion streams. I only made this little money. Where the millions at?
They just sent me some shit from Spotify where I got 1 billion streams, right? My publisher hit me. I said, break that down. How much money is that? That shit wasn't even $45,000.
They hate us. They took the money out the game when they put streaming in there. So again, you 0.0.0.4 of 1 cent. Nobody's making no bread. I love it, what I do. But I can make money by saying, if you want to give me less than 1 cent, then I'm going to go direct to consumer. I'm going to sell my product for
You can do that.
People who has a name.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. There you go.
I sell my product for $1. So if I sell 8,000 pieces, I made $8 grand. You know how many streams you got to do to get $8,000?
Yo.
So it doesn't make no sense for anybody who has a name unless that big dog is giving you a big check.
We talked to the fly.
Yeah, I don't understand people that are still getting into the music industry, but I also don't understand people that do like YouTube shorts. Like that's all they do is shorts. All they do is, you know, TikToks. Like I've done shorts, you know, here and there. You'll get 10,000 views on a short like that, right? But you'll get like 50 cents for it, right? Now you get 10,000 views on an hour-long video and your average view duration is say 25 minutes. You're going to make like, I don't know, $200 or $300, right? Sometimes more. But for a short, like shorts are so much easier to get views because they're only 15 seconds, right? People are scrolling, but long form's where it's at, y'all. If you guys are going to get into it, do long form because there's people that do shorts and they get thousands and millions of views, but you go look at their long form videos, it's a different ballgame. It's hard to keep people's attention for a while. It's easy to do attention for 15 seconds, right? Just one quick highlight. But to make that highlight a 20-minute video and keep people there, it's a different ballgame.
Guy, and he's like, you know what? I felt very unsafe. I said, sir, did you feel unsafe because we were filming you? And he's like, yes. I'm like,
Oh.
like, come on now.
Shoes on the other foot now, huh, Park?
Flock Safety is a license plate reader camera system that your city council or your local sheriff votes in, and the argument is, hey, it helps us track violent criminals. The polls I put on Instagram and YouTube were both at about 90% no, I don't want Flock in my city. The second thing we were going to do is put them under surveillance. Went to their first headquarters, no signage on the building, completely anonymous. We went to their drone headquarters. It's a construction company is what the front looks like. And so we look around this entire huge building, nothing says Flock. So anyways, we started filming their employees, and when they would pull up in their car, and I'd be like, hey sir, just want to let you know, you're under surveillance, but don't worry, it's for your safety. And they were all spooked and they get away, and I was like running with their car with the camera, and then another employee comes up and I'm like, hey sir, do you work for Flock? He's like, Flock, never heard of it, what's that? I'm actually for this construction company. Then the police come in, they box our car in from leaving the parking lot. I think they just did a software update where now it can listen to audio. And so once these cameras are in, just like with your phone, there's an automatic update that no one voted for, and 3 or 4 city council members approved. Now boom, now it's audio, now it's facial.
We didn't have words for what terminologies they have today, like UFOs, unidentified flying objects, and also aliens. But we had a word called Wichachpe. Wichachpe, we have to the star nations. Where your eye usually sets in the sky at night is the source of your communication. Now, we have what they call vibration, a strong vibration, and it's a frequency that we read in each other. When you go in a room, you could feel the vibration of the room. Something is going on. The star people and everybody on Earth has this. So there's levels. We call our world 3D. You know, then there's other levels of existence, of planes, of knowings that we need to tap into. When we get into a certain area, then we attract the vibration of that area. And we're able to communicate because we're starting to know the vibration. It's the same way with the star people. They all have different vibrations. So to communicate with them, you need to work on their level. And demands, forget it. Don't make demands and say, come talk to me, come down if you're there. Don't do this stuff, because when you start demanding, it sets off a negative vibration, and that's not what it's about. So you need to go in your quiet time, your ceremony, your honorable, your love time, and to raise yourself into a certain level of spirit so you could communicate, so you could touch their world. They're waiting for you, just as we wait for those that want to learn something from us as well. So it's the same way, as above, so below. So we need to connect into their level, and they could come down and connect to our level. So we both need to meet halfway. The star people have been here for a long time.
What happened to the days of teens being able to find a part-time job in the summer? I have taken Jordan and Leah around the radius of where we live. There's a whole bunch of places. There's Burlington, there's Marshall's, there's Hobby Lobby, there's the Dollar Tree, there's Domino's, there's Walmart, there's everything around us, right? Nobody wants to hire them. And I get it, they're teens, whatever, but how do you expect for a person to get experience at a job if nobody will hire them? I feel like it was not that hard in my day to get a job at all. I had a job at 15. Heck, I think I had a job at 14. I think at Subway. I did. I threw a sandwich at somebody. It was as an adult, I was going to say that it wasn't warranted. It was warranted. He threw a sandwich at me first. I picked up the sandwich and I threw it back at him. But that's besides the point. The point is, how are young people getting jobs these days? Give us some tips. These guys need to work. They want a car.
Well, first of all, you just told them why they're not hiring young kids, because they don't got no damn customer service. You threw a sandwich at somebody, right? That was back in, I'm guessing, the 90s, the early 2000s. So how are they now, right? That's what I'm thinking. But I see a lot of young ones. I know my niece, she was in high school working at, a hostess at PF Chang's and, doing things like that. They're out there. Car washes. But yeah, man, I can imagine how, I don't know, y'all. I see something with these young kids now. I don't know if it's just a generational thing, because every generation says the next generation is soft, it sucks, they're lazy, they're this, they're that. It's been going on forever, right? You always said this about the generation under them. They're terrible, worst generation ever. So I don't know, y'all, but from what I see, there's no communicating, there's no communication skills. You say one thing against what they believe in or somebody believes in, they snap. You're hating. So I don't know.
They stage a fake alien invasion. It's to put everyone. It's martial law, and they know everyone's not going to get unified. So if there is a fake alien invasion, it is probably what Stephen Greer said, where they're just trying to. Everybody's going to fall in line quick. But make no mistake, that invasion will not be believable. It will be like watching a bad school play. It will be a horror. And you will watch it and go, I don't believe any of this. I think it's fake. And you'll look at your wife and go, I think it's fake, but they're probably going to put us in camp soon. That's what your wife will say. She'll be smoking a butt because everyone's smoking now. And she'll look at you and go, this is probably fake. And you'll go, yup. And you'll go, but I think they're going to put us in camp soon. I think that's what this is. Because it's going to look like the shitty opening ceremony of the Olympics. That's what it's going to look. If they do a fake alien invasion, it's going to be like Cirque du Soleil, because it's going to be so over the top and ridiculous.
But CERN
is scary.
It's so scary, dude. It is.
We have no idea what they're doing there.
All I know is there's a lot more than what they tell us by a long shot.
Why do they shut it down randomly?
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we're just done for 4 years. But don't worry, we're going to, exactly 4 years from now, whatever date they choose, we're gonna turn it back on.
Could it be that they're getting messages from the future?
Do they use it to like access alternate realities?
Look up CERN time travel and see how many times people who are involved in the project or near the project have peer-reviewed papers theorizing that this is the advent of time travel. And they're like, we don't know if, if they could be sending messages back, if you get a whole human, we're just not really sure. But, there is this story here from 2000 whatever, where they think that maybe the future sent a bird back through time to intentionally sabotage this portion of the CERN.
No.
Man, this company I work for, what they claim is unsafe and then what they do is two different things. You know what I mean? We're not a packaging plant. Like, we don't have the means to repackage stuff. So Sunday, 291 cases of chicken, and let's just say these 40-pound boxes of chicken are just one bag, kind of, wax boxes and just folded over, not separate bags. 291 cases, trashed, rejected on Sunday. Well, management's like, no, we're gonna rebox that stuff. You want to talk about safe? Now you got to build boxes and you got people repackaging chicken that has been open to the air. What kind of shit we got going on here?
Down like a rabbit hole of religion and,
Don't call it a rabbit hole, bro.
Okay.
Because a rabbit hole is just that. At the end of that hole, you're going to see a rabbit's den.
Right.
It's past rabbit holes now because everything they told us was a conspiracy turned out to be true.
Right. So where does it land? Because where do you land?
Well, hold on. What was the question you was about to ask?
Because that was the question. It was like, where does this all land? Because, we can...
It lands at this. 1561, Nuremberg, Germany. There was a UFO event, which was a war, a battle that took place. The wrong side won. Point blank period. And we live in the aftermath of that. What they say? They see metallic spheres, cross-shaped objects battling each other.
5 years from now, will the Xbox consoles exist?
No. PlayStation might not either. Only one. I've said this over and over. Only one that's going to survive is Nintendo.
You don't think PlayStation?
Because they're the only ones that it really matters when it comes to exclusive. Nintendo's will be the last one to give PC their games.
If all of the consoles were to die off,
Nintendo will still be
the last
alive.
one.
Yeah, that's it.
Who will go first?
Xbox.
Then PlayStation?
Then PlayStation immediately after. Maybe 1 to 2 years after tops.
And Nintendo will still be holding on.
Everybody keeps talking about the streets in LA. Got a problem out here.
This is what I mean. California is one of the most taxed states. One of the most taxed states in the country, if not the most taxed state. Where's this tax money going? Where?
Streets in LA got a problem. Streets in LA are fine. Just
imagine your young one's out there playing and falls in
very dark pit that goes on for a very, very long time. The streets are fine because that's there, and nothing bad will happen. The streets are fine.
Did you guys see that I just realized, or that I just seen a video that Applebee's is a full, well, it looks to the eye, right? Like when you walk in, you think that they have a full-blown kitchen in the back, but all they got is fucking microwaves. Every meal from Applebee's is already pre-packaged in a like sealed container.
That's a lot of the restaurant.
And all they do is put that shit in the microwave and then they serve it to you. So it's like you're pretty much getting a TV dinner with table service.
So that's Olive Garden. That's right.
Sometimes it hits though.
Bro, I used to work at an Italian restaurant, so I know all that shit.
Yeah, what's that restaurant?
I mean, we used to like serve like lasagna, tell them like, oh yeah, freshly made this morning, this and that, bro. I'd bring out the freezer hella like a brick. Yeah, we'll just cut it up. I'll just put it in the microwave until it's like super hot.
I don't even say some for lunch.
It was fire. I ain't gonna lie, it was good, but it wasn't no homemade shit.
It is like a TV dinner if you think about it.
It is. But it's like, it's crazy how like far the restaurants will go, because I even seen like, oh, so those grill marks on my steak were never real. And then like they were like saying like, no, they're
They
printed on there. So that means that your steak goes through a printer, bitch, before it gets like to make it look like it's been grilled, and then just microwave that bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I think Olive Garden does that too.
Yeah.
They have like microwave shit. Yeah.
I had a brother-in-law that was ruined everything for me. I didn't believe that. I'm gonna go right after
the air.
Yeah, I always would say I've never had a good steak at a restaurant. They just don't taste as good as home. I don't know. I've never had. Now, lately I have, right? Lately, like, I'm not going to lie. Texas Roadhouse, to me, I've been to Cattleman's. I've been to out in El Paso, Cattleman's Steakhouse. They were good. I went to the steakhouse that's like right on the border. I forgot what it's called, like End of Texas Steakhouse. I used to live right by there. And, you know, I've been to that one. Wasn't that good. Cattleman, to me, Texas Roadhouse was better than Cattleman's Steakhouse, right? I was like, I'd rather go to Texas Roadhouse, give me a steak than Cattleman's. But at the end of the day, my steaks at home are way better. Now, it's been a while since I cooked a good steak like a New York or a ribeye because they're so damn expensive. I've been cooking sirloins, which come out kind of dry. But to me, Texas Roadhouse got the best steaks, y'all.
Did studies around this. They say that if you can achieve 5 years of sobriety, you have the same statistical chance of returning to serious or problematic use as a person who's never been addicted.
These BBC journalists are all trying to do the Asian squat. It's a resting position frequently used by people in China, Japan, and much of Asia.
It can probably be here for a while.
Videos of tourists trying the squat are popping up online. So why can some people comfortably rest like this while others struggle to get into it? Asian American Matt Shu, a mobility coach, says the Asian squat isn't about genetics.
The reality is this squat is everybody's squat because before the advent of chairs, before everybody had Western style toilets in their bathrooms, you had to be able to do this to use your chamber pot. But in the last 150 years or so, you got to sit higher and higher doing your business, and you no longer practice getting into this position.
This position is known as a deep squat. The feet stay flat on the ground and the back of the thigh rests against the calves. In Asia, people rest like this while waiting for a train or relaxing with...
1 out of every 5 orders I get from DoorDash or Uber Eats is wrong.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. I was like, why can't someone just take a $20 camera, modify some AI, stick the camera right above the kitchen where we prep the to-go orders, give it access to the Uber Eats and DoorDash orders. The camera will utilize AI to assess if the order is being prepped properly based on what it knows the customer ordered, and it will literally have a green light. Say, yep, you did that one right. It's approved. Someone can build that company right now themselves. That's one of the million companies that's going to get started. Sounds like a headache to me. I'm not going to start it, but if someone else wants to start it, please do and call me. I'll be your first customer.
Let's talk about flat Earth. This is the worst. Everyone's being lied to. Reality's not real. There's times in Antarctica where the sun's out 24/7. I'm like, how would that make sense with this whole spiraling thing? Like, even if it was on the outer ring, how could the sun stay up 24/7 if it would be on technically the other side of this plane? It does seem like there's something weird about Earth.
There's some stuff we just don't trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're taking it all from what we're told, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's round, but I don't know. I don't think it's a sphere.
I wouldn't be surprised if we were to find out for sure that the Earth is flat, quote unquote flat. That doesn't mean it's perfectly flat. It could just have a little bit of concave to it. It's very possible. I don't think we're like surrounded necessarily by this ice wall. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Circumference of the Earth is about 24,000 miles at its equator. And if we have 24 hours in a day, then that means if you put a post at the equator, it's going 1,000 miles an hour and it'll come back to the same spot. It's roughly 24,000 miles in a day. If it's really a spinning Earth, you're flying in an airplane which only goes 600 miles an hour. We go in the opposite direction of the rotation. We ought to be able to get places a lot faster. And if we're going in the same direction of the rotation, I don't think you'd ever get there.
Oh, God. What does that mean? This is from June 6, 2011, from Tom Pritzker of the billionaire Pritzker family, one of the richest families in the world, to Jeffrey Epstein. I am in a remote valley of Afghanistan, and then in parentheses, it's my birthday wish, with boys with toys. Oh my God. Spent time with Petraeus, referring to General Petraeus, yesterday, and he loaned me a chopper, actually 2, with 1 as a backup. Can't call till tomorrow. Now, I don't want to believe that means what I think it means, but we all know, it's been well documented in this studio by our friends who are tier 1 operators in Afghanistan, what goes on in Afghanistan as it relates to young boys. These people are just saying it on email.
I'm gonna just say it.
No one's accountable.
The truth is, no one just goes viral.
The days of that are just over. I'm sorry. Like, it's very rare. Everybody's doing mass clipping. That's the only way people are, like, really, like, all the streamers and everything, they pay clippers. Like, that's, like, a known thing. Musicians, how are songs blowing up? Same thing. They're paying multiple accounts to do sound campaigns. And marketing's gotten really good to a point where you don't know it's marketing. And that is what good marketing is. You don't know it's marketing. You don't know it's paid for. It's not just like, oh, he's just viral.
No, this is completely factual. And that's so many creators online.
One other. See, I get a lot of comments, y'all, of, people saying like, you're so lazy. All you do is steal other people's, TikToks and you react to them. What are your kids going to think when you're older? You're going to be ashamed, right? All these things. But what you don't understand is 99% of these TikToks I react to aren't from the actual original creator of it. They pay people to put their video. Right now, I'm helping. This next clip's Joe Rogan. I'm helping Joe Rogan right now, right? This clip of Joe Rogan isn't from his actual TikTok. He might not even have a TikTok, right? It's from somebody that clipped it. That clip we just saw of him saying people are playing clippers is from a clipper, right? These content creators, these podcast people, they pay people. They pay people, clip it. If you make 1 million views, you get paid $1,000. Every million, you get paid 1,000, right? So they're just sitting there all day clipping. Right? Everything you see on social media now, 99% of it is not from the actual original creator. It's from somebody that clipped it and they're making money off of that clip. It's not organic no more, y'all. And it's free content online. It just baffles me that people don't do, like, even just try it. This changed my life, y'all, doing this. Free content on the internet. And I just give my 2 cents on it. You know what I mean? I try to teach people. I learn a lot. I socialize with you guys. Like, it just baffles me that people just don't at least try it, y'all. Try it. This content nonstop, all day, every day. There's people clipping it all day. This 3-hour podcast, there's 30,000 people clipping that same podcast, putting that on TikTok, on the internet.
Animals are you going to bring back?
We have announced, obviously, the mammoth and the thylacine, that's the Tasmanian tiger, and the dodo, which is my favorite. I've seen my dodo.
Oh, but
Very
not
long.
direwolves.
No, we won't be reintroducing direwolves. We have DNA from lots of different animals, so, you never know.
So this guy has been swearing up and down since the 90s that he got abducted by the Pleiadians. That's right, abducted by aliens. He has some pretty wild theories that he spent a few hours up there and then he came back to Earth and it was 90 days. He also says that 2 Pleiadians that he speaks to have said that there's reptilians that have been living on Earth for hundreds of years, if not thousands, and they have a really long lifespan. But get this, they're eating all the that go missing. That's apparently where they go, according to him. He also says it's a massive cover-up. The government knows about it, and the elites help them get the... Very similar to David Icke and Alex Jones theories, but he's been on about this for decades. This is one of those ones that sounds absolutely bonkers. What do you think?
Have you heard of the Milgram experiment?
No.
So this happened in Yale. I'll give you the short version. 1962, I think. This World War II is over. These Nazis are on trial in Nuremberg, and they're asked, like, why did you do what you did? And they're saying, I was just following orders. So this guy at Yale, Dr. Stanley Milgram, runs this experiment. Will people just follow orders? So let's say you a volunteer for this experiment. You respond to an ad in the paper that says,
see, real quick. See, this is a Sean Ryan clip, right? Now, you guys think I'm stealing Sean Ryan's content. Look at that name right there. Look at that name right there. Does that say Sean Ryan's podcast? Beyond the Mic 4. That guy took his content, clipped it up, and now he's making money off Sean Ryan's podcast. Now, you guys can clip me up all you want, right? Sean Ryan sees it. Some people get upset at that, and they hire companies so people can't do that. I don't understand those people. Because you guys seeing this clip online, say I get 1 million views on this, maybe 500 people will go watch this podcast to see it go deeper. So Sean Ryan is going to get 500 more views, right? Like when I'm doing my uploading, my settings, I can set where if I want people, if I allow them to use my content to like remix it or do whatever, or if I don't, right? Now I allow people because those people that are remixing it might reach some people that don't know, and they might come check out the rest of my videos, right? It helps. Any eyes is good eyes, right? But what you guys don't realize is this is not Sean Ryan's clip. Now, it's from his podcast, but somebody else clipped it. It's not Sean Ryan's. I get that a lot, y'all. Whenever somebody's hating on something, they always go to that. You just steal people's content. They always go to that.
We'll give you a free bologna sandwich
Grown
lunch
men, too.
voucher or whatever
Grown
at the
men.
cafeteria,
It's crazy.
and $20.
Just give you guys
So
some
you show
knowledge,
up and it says we're doing a study on
YouTube.
learning and the effects of punishment on learning. So
I
you,
think I do know about this. Is this the shock the shock
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So they've essentially got a guy in the room right beside you, strapped up to a machine that's going to shock him. And they sit you down at a machine, and your job is to read off some words. And when he gets a question wrong, you shock his ass. And then you move the shocker up, shock him higher voltage for every wrong answer. You keep moving it up. And at the end of this little shocking machine, it says 450 volts, XXX danger, severe shock. 2/3 of the way through this shocking thing, the guy in the other room, you can hear him screaming, you can hear him yelling when you shock him because the thing's painful. He's an actor. He's not ever getting shocked. But 2/3 of the way through, he stops and he says, I don't want to do this anymore. I want out of here. I have a heart condition. I don't want to do this anymore. And you look back at the guy running the thing in the lab coat. The guy in the lab coat says, it's important that you keep going. The experiment has to continue. The experiment requires that you continue. And, well, you keep going. And around like the 400, 350 volt mark, the guy in the other room stops making all sound and stops responding to questions. He's not even answering the questions anymore. You turn around to the guy in the lab coat. The guy in the lab coat says, any non-answer must be treated as an incorrect answer. Please continue. Keep going. And then these people would get to the end, this 450 volts, and they'd shock him. Be like, well, that's it. We reached the end. The guy in the lab coat says, please continue until you've read all of the questions on the quiz. So this guy they think might be dead in the other room. They're just keeping going at this 450 volts in the other room. So before the experiment started, these psychologists, psychiatrists got together and formed a hypothesis. And they said, who's going to go all the way? And they said 0.8% or 0.08% of people will go all the way. 67% of people went all the way.
Holy shit.
And they redid the experiment. They said, oh, well, there's an inherent belief of safety because it's in a college. They've done it in apartment buildings and basements and office buildings with college-educated people, high school-educated people, all income levels, about 67% of people.
All right, family. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of the YouTube knowledge I gave you guys. But, if you think about it, if you watch the news, if you watch, ridiculousness, they're all reacting to TikToks, right? A lot of people don't realize it. Like, I had the bug man come by and, he was asking me what I did, whatever. I don't like attention. I don't like talking about myself. So I flipped it. Like, you should try it, right? I gave it to him. And, I just was telling him, like, think about, what you're watching on TV. They're reacting to TikToks. Your nightly news, when they show a clip of a car accident or something, it's a TikTok, right? That's what everyone's doing now. That's where it's at. I always tell people, you want to get started? TikToks. I don't know. TikToks is taking over, y'all. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. You made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hope everyone out there is having a good Father's Day, y'all. My boys are asleep. They should be waking up. So perfect timing to get this video edited and out to you guys. Just spend the day. I got some carne asada yesterday. So I'm going to cook that up with some bacon wrapped jalapenos, corn on the cob, probably some vegetables or some bell peppers grilled and onion or something. Make some kebabs with those. It's going to be a nice Sunday. Yesterday we got together at my mom's so that today we can just hang out here at the house. So that's what I'm doing today, hanging out. Try to maybe go on a walk later with the boys. It's so hot, y'all. They get all red and sweaty and cranky. So I don't really like to take them for walks, which sucks because my oldest son just loves going on walks. But I know he doesn't like that heat, but maybe today we'll see if we can get out a little later, right? We're so big on his schedule and getting into bed at the same time and doing, we're so big on that. Maybe, stay up a little late today and go on a night walk when it's dark out, so it's a little cooler out. So maybe we'll start doing that. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys are having a good one. All the fathers out there, salute to you guys. It's not easy. It's not easy, but I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Later.